When Britain and France went to war with Germany, Americans were originally neutral because of the diversity in the country and also because we were currently in isolation. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the United States broke neutrality and joined the war under the Allied powers with Britain, France, and Russia. Even though the government was not originally on board with the idea of propaganda, victory over the Axis powers was impossible without the support from all men and women, so propaganda was crucial. Once troops were sent to war, artists were put to work to create posters to rally support. The two main agencies that helped aid the making and distribution of propaganda, Writers' War Board helped with the actual making of the posters, and the United States Office of War Information delivered the propaganda everywhere they could. The four main themes of the propaganda included army recruitment, rationing, ride shares, anti-spies, and women. The artists painting these army recruitment posters used the common enemy to get the American men wanting to join the war. This first photo says, "Avenge Pearl Harbor, our bullets will do it." After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, the Americans brought up a feeling of revenge, and posters like this would get the Americans fired up, which led them to join the army. Because of our surplus of supplies, with enough people we could easily win this war. Uncle Sam is shown in the foreground in a patriotic shirt, and it clearly shows his desire to engage. This next photo of Uncle Sam encouraged young men to enlist. Uncle Sam is considered one of propaganda's most famous advocates, even though he is a made-up character. This was first published in 1916 by James Montgomery Flagg in World War I, but was revamped for World War II. The final photo shows how Hitler cries out with surprise when the Allies shoot him from behind. The swastika here on his buttocks represents X marks the spot and how he had to hit him when he wouldn't expect it. The Nazi army is represented as toys to show how ineffective and unreactive they were against the American army, and the Nazis were clearly seen as the enemy in this poster.
The first photo depicts a woman whose name is Rosie the Riveter in a work uniform. The top of the poster reads, "We can do it," because it is trying to encourage women to take wartime jobs in defense industries. Originally, the poster was only hung in the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company. However, it later became one of the most famous icons from World War II as a symbol to celebrate female patriotism. Since men were away at war, women need to replace them in factories and other forms of work in America. Because of this, the second poster represents the need of women in working America by showing two women in uniform in front of two soldiers. No matter what form of work it is, all women need to do something to help America while the men are away at war. The final photo encourages women to join the war effort by becoming nurses. It features the hands of a man placing a nursing cap on the head of a young woman. Since so many men were being injured throughout the war, women were needed as nurses.
Anti-spy propagandas during the time of World War II told the United States citizens to be extremely cautious of what they were saying because they never knew who was listening. Any slip of even the smallest pieces of information could prove fatal, even if in seemingly innocent situations. The United States encouraged its citizens to keep quiet about any and all information, and this was so that the information did not get to the wrong people. The "Loose Talk Can Cost Life" poster shows a disguised Hitler listening into a conversation between an American serviceman and a woman. The newspaper represents the easy transmission of information to the enemies. The "Don't Even Try, She May Be a Spy" poster shows a man and a woman talking. This is saying that this man should stay quiet instead of trying to talk to her, because she may be a spy and transmit the information. The "Someone Talked" poster shows an Allied sailor drowning at sea because someone talked, and the listener could have been an undercover spy. War talk on the streets could have easily been heard by the spies.
In World War II, 70% of tin was produced and controlled by Japan. The United States needed tin to make ammunition for the soldiers. Tin quickly became valuable, and children would sell soda cans and old dog food cans to make some money. The War Production Board then instituted a rule that every town with a population of 25,000 or more would have to have a tin can collection process. Soon posters started to pop up around towns, such as the three shown. The first image by Barclay McClelland is a poster that could be hung in stores or around cities. It shows cans being placed into guns like ammo. At the bottom, there are instructions on how to turn in the cans. The second image is for a tin salvage station and could be hung in a store that has a collection box. During World War II, reusing tin cans was not called recycling, but rather salvaging. The third poster was administered by the War Production Board and shows step-by-step on how to prepare the tin cans for donation. The process was to rinse the can and remove the paper, flatten it, place the lid inside the bottom, and then to drop them off at the salvage station. Ride sharing was another way during World War II to conserve resources. Many posters like the ones seen here are examples. The first illustration by Morehouse Lee and Dr. Seuss shows a car overpiled with people, exaggerating how many people you can fit in one car. The second picture by Weimer Purcell uses a scare tactic, saying that if you ride alone, you are riding with Hitler, allowing them to win the war. The third poster prompts people to fit 4 or 5 people into a car and join a ride-sharing club to conserve rubber as part of the war effort. Another way to help the war effort was to start your own victory garden. Victory gardens helped to save the canned goods for the troops. Families were urged to start their own gardens so they could produce their own food, saving more canned goods for the soldiers. The first poster, put out by the Office of War Information, shows a can with the words, "Can all you can." This encouraged families to grow their own food and then preserve it so they would not need to buy food from the stores. The second and third pictures are 2 more examples by the United States War Food Administration and the United States Department of Agriculture, and also Peter Fraser. These illustrate foods that can be grown in a victory garden, as well as the slogan, "Dig on for victory."